Myster DL.
Who are you?
Hectic, ཉETA.
Why are you here?
I'm here to talk a little bit about the history of ཉETA.
What does ཉETA mean?
Technical definition is never ever tolerate abuse. You go a little deeper, it represents the birth of a newborn baby by definition, but there was a ritual back in the days done by the Taino Indians where they would take a baby and present it to the village, raise it up to the sky and scream ཉETA 3 times. So to the Indians, it was symbolic and represented them being reborn as a warrior.
When did ཉETA start?
Late 70s. We've settled on 1979 as the official date, but nobody's exactly sure. But 79.
Who was credited for creating it?
Torres Didnt, better known as Carlos La Sombra. Carlos La Sombra held me when I was a baby, according to my mom and my pops. Carlos La Sombra, he was like a short, dark-skinned gentleman. He was humble. He isn't what you would picture as somebody who creates a movement. You know what I mean? And back in the prisons in Puerto Rico, there was a lot of abuses going on. When we say abuses, we mean like other men raping other men and people getting robbed. Just anything that you consider an abuse, like somebody younger picking on somebody older that can't defend themselves or anything like that. You know what I mean? So he came up with the association ཉETA, and we started off. It was there was a couple people that were in charge. There was a guy named Hermanota, and he was actually part of our association, and him and Carlos La Sombra had a falling out, and when that falling out happened, they parted ways with us. They fought, and it caused a big war in the jails of Puerto Rico. And ever since then, they've been against us, we've been against them, the 27 insectos.
Who were the ཉETAs inspired by?
In order to know who we were inspired by, you would have to know more or less who Carlos La Sombra was inspired by. There was a lot of political movements going on at that time. You had the macheteros, you have in New York, you had the Young Lords, just a couple examples. And he took a lot of pages from their book, politically and philosophically.
How did you get involved with ཉETA?
I got involved for actually the wrong reasons. It's kind of 2 stories involved in that. I got involved when I was 15 years old out in Holyoke, Mass. And I got involved in the streets. Dudes were coming on the block, dropping off packs, picking up money. You know, these dudes were the bosses. And I was like, wow, yo, you know what I mean? Them dudes are doing it right. And my little homies were like, oh, those are the ཉETAs. You know, you can only be down with them if you're Puerto Rican. You have to be Puerto Rican. Almost like how the mob, you have to be Italian. So I was like, shit, I'm Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? So it kind of gave me a chance to show my Puerto Rican pride by saying, you know, this is something that is exclusive to us. But that's not actually true, but that's how I got involved. And it was in the streets, and it was more gang-like when I got involved. But after that, it all settled, and I went to jail and learned what it was really about. You know what I mean?
When did you get involved?
About 93. I was already getting like influenced. I had already seen like these dudes on the block and stuff like that, and so it was early 90s, but when I officially became ཉETA, it was 93.
Who makes up ཉETA?
ཉETA is an association that was made to help the rights of inmates that were being violated. So also, back, one of the earlier questions was what was the name. It's also the Association Pro Inmate Rights. So by that, we're made up of inmates, and those inmates can be white, black, Spanish. You know, if you're an inmate and your rights were being violated, that was the purpose of ཉETA. Anyone can be a member as long as you follow the rules. You live by our bylaws and normas. You know, can't associate with snitches or rats, because you know you are in jail, and that's part of surviving in there. So you can't associate with any rats, pedophiles, and you can't have any rape charges, skin beefs, and things like that. Those are just common sense things. You don't want to be associated with people like that. You get what I'm saying?
How much jail time did you do?
I did about 13 years of my life in and out. Not in one shot, just in and out of jail throughout my whole life. 13 years.
Where did you do the time?
It was spread out. A bunch of, like, I did time in juvie. I grew up in juvie, basically. I went to Middleton. I went to Billerica. My finals, I've been to Cambridge. My final stop is I was 52A, which makes you state property. So, and I went to Plymouth, to Concord. So it's just a bunch of, yeah, these are all Massachusetts jails. I never really did any time outside of Mass.
Does ÑETA operate outside of jail?
See, there's a tricky question. So when it was created, it wasn't meant to be outside of jail. Some people say it doesn't exist outside of jail. So like a lot of the old school guys, they go in jail, they come out, they don't really, those rules are out the window now. You get what I'm saying? Because they're not running in the streets, so they don't really apply those rules. Me and my friends, we still live by those rules even on the streets. We don't call it ñeta. We, my circle of friends are the inner cipher, inner circle, no outsiders allowed. And, but we're all ñeta. Everybody in my little inner cipher circle, my little crew inner cipher is all ñeta. You get what I'm saying? We don't call it ñeta out here in the streets because of the fact that everything we do out here, we're held accountable for, and it represents the rest of the association.
What are some of the beliefs of ñeta?
Well, the beliefs of ñeta are just basically anybody who has our philosophies, anybody who shares our beliefs, and those beliefs are just helping those that are weaker, you know, like those being preyed on. It's easy to defend somebody who could help defend you back later on in the future. You'd be like, all right, well, I'm gonna hold him down because I know he get busy, so he's gonna hold me down. You know what I mean? That's easy. But when you defend somebody who's weaker, that's a lot harder. You get what I'm saying? Because you still gotta be tough. You gotta defend somebody who's weaker to other tough guys, and that takes a real tough guy. You get what I'm saying? And people that live by that are accepted by our association. I don't necessarily want a killer or a tough guy. I'd rather roll with a regular average Joe who ain't gonna rat. Like, I know a lot of dudes have killed people who are street guys who end up ratting. So just because you know how to fight, or you slash somebody, or you shoot somebody, don't mean you won't rat. I'd rather deal with somebody who's an average Joe in the joint, just trying to do his time, that I know for sure won't rat. So you see what I'm saying? That's what I mean by don't go by the facades. You see what I'm saying? Go by character.
Why do certain gangs seem to dislike ñeta?
Well, I can't really speak for any gangs. We don't really have too many issues. But some of the things I know about, like, we accept gays in our association, and a lot of people don't like that because a lot of organizations don't accept gays themselves because it shows weakness, you know. So, how they say it shows weakness, but we accept everybody, whether you be gay or if you black, you white. Doesn't mean our association consists of gay people. You know, these are few brothers that are gay, and it's just, that's their business. You know, what they do behind closed doors, or what God they believe in, or what color they are, really doesn't concern me. If you're ready to stand up for what we believe in, and you're ready to get your same philosophies and morals in sync and in line with ours, and you're ready to live and die for that, and dog, that's all I care about.
Can you speak on the amount of members worldwide?
Can't really put a number because, again, some of the old timers, they don't represent in the streets. Some even regular American ñetas out here in the United States don't rep in the streets, but some do. So I do know we have membership out in Argentina, Chile, Spain, Portugal, Mexico. It's crazy because I see all these other Latin countries, and they're holding up the Puerto Rican flag because the Puerto Rican flag has a lot to do with our philosophy and stuff like that, and it makes me proud. It really does.
What do you think about the current gang culture trend?
Everybody thinks it's cool, right? The whole gang culture trend, it's always been like attractive, and it's crazy because it's influencing a lot of kids right now. And I'm not gonna sit here in front and act like I wasn't influenced by it when I was coming, because I said earlier I was influenced by the dudes that were dropping off, picking up, doing that bar shit and stuff like that. But it ain't all that it's cracked up to be. You feel me? Like, I had to learn the hard way and stuff like that. So like the gang culture being like influencing people, I kind of like the idea because it gives OGs a chance. Like, they already respect it, but now since it's cool when it's in the limelight, they get a chance to talk, and they get a chance to say like, all right, look, you ain't gotta be no bitch or no punk, but don't be like a troublemaker punk either. You feel me? So don't back down, hold your ground like a man, but nobody likes a troublemaker either. You feel me? When it comes to the music and the gang culture, when you get that combination, it's not good. Because now you can't separate the two. You got rappers running around that look like gang members, and real gang members bump into them and treat them like other real gang members, you feel me? So it's like, what do you expect to happen? People gonna get hurt. So when you got people trying to live it and they don't really live it, and they gotta live up to it, and then you got dudes that really live it and are just doing what they do every day, that's what they do, they live that life, man, you can't compare. Keep doing music, keep doing your thing, but you don't gotta put all the gun bars in there and stuff like that. Or if you do it in reference. You know what I'm saying? Tell your story. I'm not telling you to water it down. I'm not telling anybody, yo, be soft or to turn the other cheek. Nah, man. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, like, it's all bullshit. It's all a facade, bro. Like, these dudes really aren't running around killing people. What do you think? The cops are that dumb? Like, they can't find serial killers? Like, if these dudes are out here killing all these motherfuckers that they say they are, don't you think they'd be serial killers? They'd be labeled a serial killer, man? Come on, stop all that. Fuck all that gang culture trend shit. Like,
serial spitters.
Yeah, you feel me? Like I'm not mad at y'all. Get your bread, you know what I'm saying? And there's some people that do live that life, and when they do, like, I'm amused. I get amused by it. I'm not gonna lie, but it's entertainment. I'm entertained by wrestling. Doesn't mean I go dressing up like a wrestler, trying to act like a wrestler. You feel me?
Word is heroin is big amongst the ÑETA community. Is that true?
Well, in the Puerto Rican community, heroin is a big problem in general. Because let me break this down. It's like, everybody always says, yo, Poppy got the work and stuff like that, and they mean Dominicans. Dominicans are known for being like businessmen, being kingpins and shit like that. So what happens is, South America sends the drugs to Dominican Republic, and it springboards from there to New York. Okay, now Puerto Rico is supposed to be the same thing. South America sends the drugs from South America to Puerto Rico, and it's supposed to springboard from Puerto Rico up to the United States, but it doesn't. It falls into Puerto Rico and it disappears. It all gets sold right there in Puerto Rico. So they send the money right back. And what do? They're gonna send more. So, like, there's a documentary out there called Zombie Island about heroin in Puerto Rico, and it's rampant. So of course, being a majority of ÑETA is Puerto Rican, and there's a big heroin problem in the Puerto Rican community. So yeah, it does. The numbers ain't gonna lie. There are a lot of members of the association that when they're in the streets, they use heroin. They're heroin addicts. But here's the thing: when they come into the system, these dudes haven't had a good meal in months. They're skinny. Once they get a week of good meals consistent, they blow right the hell up. Them dudes start running the joint whether you like it or not. These dudes be brolic crazy. I be in there trying to do push-ups and get my weight up. It take me 6 months to a year to get right. These dudes are just bouncing right back, that muscle memory.
What is ÑETA currently doing now?
From what I know, we are online. We're on the internet, different charities and different organizations that ÑETA members have started and things like that. As for myself and my ཉETA brothers, we do a cookout every year where we all get together, we all hang out and support each other, whatever we're doing. I also have a few businesses. I'm a co-owner of a cannabis social club. I'm an owner of a seed store and an art gallery. And I'm just trying to get myself right so that way I could show and prove, not just be like here talking and saying next time we do an interview it could be at one of my charity events or something, you know what I mean?
What other things are you personally involved with?
I've been rapping my whole life, you know what I mean? I did a little bit of acting. I got a friend who's a director. I've done some acting. Besides that, man, I'm just working, trying to be a businessman, and you know, I'm working on music right now. I've always had music. I've just been so busy going at the speed of life that it's hard putting things together sometimes, you know. I'm a father. I'm a father of 5. I got a 21-year-old, 20-year-old. I have a daughter who's 10. She's gonna be 11, and I got twin boys who are 6. They're gonna be 7. That's what I put most of my focus into. Like, how can you go against being a good dad? Because the one thing you'll notice that all gang members from any gang or any organization, they all have one thing in common. They come from single parent households. They come from a household that didn't have a dad or didn't have a mom, or they were raised by their grandmother or their auntie. You know what I mean? And we gotta try to fix that. I'm not saying that that's the single fix, but it's a good place to start. And it's a good way to help.
If someone asked you whether or not they should join a gang, what would you say to them?
Of course, I would tell them no. Just off the fact, like, let me put it like this. The whole gang culture where people are like, yo, you gotta be loyal to your mans, you gotta hold them down, you can't, like, I agree with that. But you gotta see what some of the characteristics are of some of the people that are coming in. They're coming in from broken homes. A lot of these kids can't even be loyal to their wives. See what I'm saying? Like, if you can't be loyal to your wife or to your wifey or baby's moms, whoever shorty you with, you can't even be loyal to her. She holds you down when you get locked up. She bail you out. This bitch make you peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. She suck your dick. Like, nigga, are you kidding me? And you rather go ride with your mans and shit like that? Shorty holding you down and you can't be loyal to her. You expect me to think you're gonna be loyal to the clique, to the crew? Nah, like, so you see those characteristics and they're coming into the organization with that. That's not something that I say to come into. You know what I mean? Just because of that, it's like, don't get it twisted. When you're in jail, it's different. Jail, you want to try to keep to yourself. Every jail is different. So some jails, it's almost inevitable. There's nothing you can do. You're gonna have to pick a side. You're either gonna have to stick with your race or you're gonna have to join a gang. But here's one thing I could tell you. It's not unheard of dudes going in jail and not joining gangs and just being men, standing on their own 2 feet and coming out being men on their own 2 feet, never joining gangs, never doing nothing. You do your time, you do your time. You know, you fucked up, you come out, you get it right, and that's it.
Where can people find you on social media? You
can find me on Instagram at Hectic978. And at Green Thumb Gorillas on Instagram. That's about it. Facebook is all personal stuff, family stuff and stuff like that. But check out Planet Piff in 97 Central Street, downtown Lowell. There's actually a Green Thumb Gorillas fan page on Facebook. Check that out too. Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to all my people. ST the Squad, Wolves Gang. You already know. All my ÑETA brothers. I love y'all. You know, let's keep doing this, doing it right.